Hi everyone, I'm Jay and this is Vroom Vroom. What have I done? Seriously. Thumbnail says it all. What was I thinking? This could be the worst bike I've ever had on the channel. It looks so much better in the pictures. Let's go around it. So what we've got here is a Kawasaki Z650 or ER6 as they are known. Is it ER6 or EN6? One of those two, I don't know. Yeah, came from auction and I saw certain things were wrong with it and I thought, it won't be that bad. It was. No keys. Let's start with that. No keys. So that's a big challenge. As you may have noticed, needs a new back wheel. That back wheel is knackered. Let's carry on down this side. Oh, what we're missing from there? Don't know what goes there. Yeah, we're missing a seat. Coming forward. Good news. I've got that panel. I just took it off because I have charged the battery. I'm just going to stick something across the start solenoid to see if the engine turns. Because I haven't got a key, I can't do it using the start button. So, coming forward. Big dent in the tank. New tank. Missing fairing from the top. Missing tank bolts. Key slot. Absolutely knackered, but that's probably going to come with the new ECU and ignition I'm going to have to buy. Coming around the front, screen broken. Good news, only the bolt's missing out of the grip, the protector. Well, the protector may have protected the levers on both sides, certainly didn't protect the rest of the bike. So the there is no front, my god, it's just gone. Radiator looks okay. Crash bung on this side. Is there a crash bung on the other side? Oh, there is. Okay, that's some good news, I suppose. And this side, yeah. So what's the positives? Well, one, yeah, it was very cheap. You can see why it was very cheap. Two, it's a 2019 model. So it's not that old. And as long as the engine is okay, then we might stand a chance with this. But it's a big but. The engine has got to be okay. Around this side, obviously, we're missing panels. It's broken. So the list of parts for this is quite large. Probably the only thing that will work on it would be one indicator. But like I said, I've charged the battery. I need to go and grab a screwdriver and I'll test the engine. Well, I'll turn it over. So I'll see if it turns over. And try and make sure it's not seized. Yeah, fingers crossed, eh? So I'm just about to wash this, and strangely enough, it's just started raining, which isn't very good. Right, so the start solenoid's there. We're not in gear because I just rolled it out, and I've charged the battery, and the battery took a charge. Hey, great news. Oh, Well, that sounded healthy. As healthy as it could sound. So it is time to give this a bath, and we'll see how it goes there. I am up to my eyeballs in motorbikes at the moment. So if anybody is watching and wants a bike, then please drop me a message. There's always an old debate about can you wash value into bikes and cars, in fact, and the answer's got to be yes. It doesn't take away any of the problems, but it does make the problems a little less, if that makes sense. I slept on this, and those of you who watch the videos will know that that's where I do my best work. And I've come up with a plan. I know the engine turns. It sounded right on turn off, but I need to know if this engine is okay. And so to do that, I've spoken to Kawasaki, got some advice, and I need to get the ignition out of this bike. One, so I can get to the bottom of the ignition and just turn it on, because I don't want to be chucking wires in places that I don't really want to put wires in. And then what am I doing? Yes, and that's going to be quite difficult to get the ignition out. You've got to get rid of the snap bolts, which take forever to drill out, which is a good safety feature, and I like that. Someone already had a go but hadn't gone in there enough to remove them. I've finished that job off now, and now I need to remove an Allen bolt, but it sits underneath the top yoke, which is again a good safety feature, but does mean that it's going to make work for me. So you might be able to see that's the top bolt, and it's on an Allen head. So I need to take that off, undo the top of the forks, just pull it out slightly. Oh, first of all, I'm just going to take the two 10mm bolts off the back of the clock, just to give me slightly more access. So that, the top bolt, and hopefully then I can get that ignition out and get one ordered. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. The ignition, I thought I'd have to replace. Oh, actually, it's still going to be an issue. The actual, I can find an ignition and key for around £50, which isn't bad, and that's new. I spoke to Kawasaki yesterday, and they wanted £460 plus that. Yeah, don't think that's quite in the budget. So let's get this top yoke off and see where we are from there. What does make this a little bit easier is I took the little plastic screen thing off before because it was broken. So that's just increased my access slightly. Right, so just be a little bit careful with that, and that's giving me great access there now. So don't want to drop that. That will go all the way in there. Okay, so what do I need to do? 2 Allen bolts in the top of the yokes. Remove the head bolt, and that should be good. I don't think that's going to be enough to take that out. Oh. Ow. Ow, 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 ow. 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 God bloody hell. All good. Right, so 2 Allen bolts, and then I should be able to get access. Right, so with that off now, I've got access. Oh, my poor finger. 2 on the bottom, and because the top's done, that should be it. The only thing holding it in now should be the wiring and pipes underneath. Let's just have a little feel. That feels about right. Ah, right, no, I've missed one. It's the fairing clips into the tank. Right, so I've just seen what undoes the fuel pump electronically. And voila. Quite heavy, a lot of petrol in there. Right, so I've got the ECU. Good access to everything, which is good. Right, so with those bolts now off, I'm hoping I can just wedge this off. Right, so the bottom is off of the ignition barrel, which is good. So I can turn it now with a pair of pliers, which will be very handy in a couple of minutes. It's actually nice to get back on some bike bits. Been quite a hectic couple of weeks, and the garage conversion has been taking up a lot of my time, but I need to crack on with this Kawasaki because it's the stuff that's haunting my nightmares at the moment. I've ordered a lock set for it and it's arrived and it's perfect. It's always difficult to know what to do when you've got a bike with no keys, because it leaves you with a couple of decisions to make. Do you get a full lock set, or do you get the locksmith to make a new key? Is it protected by security? You know, there's lots of things to consider. This particular one is not protected by security, so I've been able to just buy a lock set, which cost me £90 including delivery. To get it picked by a locksmith was going to be £125, but I'm not sure of the condition of all of the locks, so it seemed to make sense to buy a second-hand one, and that's what I did. It's come, and yeah, like I said, it's absolutely perfect. So I need to find out whether this fuel pump is working or not. So what I'm going to do is, I've used the key from the new lock set actually to open the fuel tank, so that was easy. Drain all the petrol out, which I'm going to do right now, which is my favourite job in the world, and my grass is still recovering from last time. And then we'll pull the fuel pump out, have a look, and test it. If it is that, we'll get one ordered, and then we're good to go. What I have done in the meantime is I put a bit of easy start directly into the intake of the bike, and it was starting up, and the engine sounded fine. So this is the next step. I bought a new funnel from Tesco's. Came with a nozzle. £2. What a bargain. Now this is one of those things that I need 3 bloody hands for, so this isn't going to go well. It never goes well. But we'll try. So I've just got to fill out the fuel tank. I'm not going to show the video on it. It was a disaster. Whenever I take petrol out of a fuel tank, it always goes bloody everywhere. So that wasn't the easiest job. I hate doing it. And there's quite a lot in there. It was about a tank, about 7.5 litres, I suppose, of fuel in there. So I'm not going to mess about storing that in here because obviously it's petrol. Saying that when you've got 6 bikes behind you with fuel tanks. I'm going to put it straight into my Triumph because that's my daily rider, and when it comes to it, I'll go and get some fuel for this, I suppose. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's get the fuel pump off. The tank's now empty, and what I've done is I've taken the petrol cap off because that's not going back on, and I didn't want it locking and risking not being able to open it again. So fuel pump looks nice and easy. 5 bolts. They look 12 mils, and then we better pull that off. So let's get that off and have a look and see what we're dealing with. So you could be wondering why I'm taking the fuel pump out. Well, while the bike was in situ, I did have a look, and the fuel pump wasn't priming, so the bike wouldn't start. So I tried to test the fuel pump while it was still on the bike by putting power directly to the power points on the fuel pump, and it was just not having it at all. So it resulted in this and having to get the fuel pump out to have a closer look and see what the issue was. Right, so nice and easy. Unlike the Honda one, it's slightly integrated. I've just taken the fuel pump apart and just need you to see this. The sock is covered in red stuff. Now, if I was to guess, it's not rust, the tank's spotless. If you do know, then let me know if that's in focus. But that is really unusual. And I'm wondering if it's blocking the pump enough for it to stop it working. So we'll be trying that out in a second. Shock housing is also, I've taken a little bit out as well. But that is really wrong. I'm going to give this a clean up and look at that. Right, you can't see. Right down in the corner there, where the fuel pickup is for the to come into the pump, and that looks blocked. Right, pull that apart and see. But if it's been running blocked, then that would just shag the motor anyway. So we're gonna have to have a look. But it's, yeah, I mean, this is way too new a bike to be having this kind of issue. So I've pulled the actual pump out because it was easy. And I'm just gonna wait for that to evaporate in the sun before I put some power to it. But the sock, yeah, I took the sock off, and on the underside of the sock was quite dirty as well. So I think a blockage has wrecked this pump, but we'll see. Well, it might still be working. It might just be the fact that it was blocked up. So we'll see. Let's see in a minute. Well, I just tested the pump and it was working fine, and it sounded really healthy. So I'm going to stick it back in, give it a go, and see what happens from that point. But yeah, that sounded really good. So let's see what happens. Well, I've put the pump back together and just put it on the bike, and it's working, which is really, really good news. I'm going to give the tank a very quick flush, and then I'm going to put the, well, this is nicer problems to have, I suppose, because I was going to start repairing the tank because there's a dent in it, but I think I need to hear the bike running a bit more than I need to get the dent out at the moment. So I'm going to put this back in, and then put it back on the bike, and we'll see if it starts. So what I've done is I've put the air cleaner back on, and everything's in its place. That's nice. Need a strap over that, that's fine. And I've replaced the ignition with the new one because I was messing about with this with a screwdriver, and it's just takes too many hands. It's easy just to turn the key. So now I'm ready to put the tank back on. The tank is all secure. We'll chuck it on, we'll book a bit of fuel in, and then we'll see together if it starts. Let's go nice and wide with this. Right, tank is back on, fuel is back in. Am I confident? No, I'm not. I'm never confident when it starts bikes. Right, I'm going to take my mic off and put it on the phone mic because, as you probably noticed in my past videos, this mic really does not like motorbike sounds. Right, so I just turned it on and I could hear the fuel pump, which was great news. But we still don't know what's going to happen when I press this button. So fingers crossed. Oh wow! That was amazing. Well, what a result! Engine sounds good. No smoke. Headlights on, tails on, which is good. Just a couple of quick tests while I'm at. Yep, brake light at the front. Got lights. Back indicator on the right's not working. Horn's okay. Just going to give that a second to warm up, and we'll give it a bit of a rev. Wow, so it's all that crud in the sock on the fuel pump that was stopping the pump prime. So that's really good news. It sounds really good. Right, let's see what happens. Right, that's the result. So that's where we're going to leave it right now, but it's a result. The bike's running, and it's always good when you can hear an engine run because you're halfway there. But the trouble is, the other half of what needs to be done to this bike is quite extensive. The tank needs to be repaired. There's panels that need to be replaced and sourced. The seat needs replacing. The wheel needs replacing. Front mudguard hasn't got one. MOT hasn't got one of those either. So there's quite a long list, but at least now I'm going to be happy ordering parts for this bike. The locks are great now. I need to put that in place and lock it in. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please like, share, subscribe. You know what to do. And until next time, guys, ride safe.